I cut out sugar for a week. What really happened to my blood and skin? I eliminated all added sugar from my diet for 7 days. I anticipated feeling slightly better, perhaps having more energy. However, what a professional skin analysis revealed about my face and what a continuous glucose monitor tracked in my body was truly surprising. The data is clear, and this is the story of what actually happens when you stop eating sugar. For years, I felt as if I were on an energy roller coaster. I couldn't stop. My day would start with a spike after coffee and a pastry, only to end in a 3 p.m. crash that left me irritable and struggling to focus. My skin was a persistent issue, with a general dullness and breakouts I would blame on anything from stress to the weather. I simply felt off, and I suspected sugar was the primary culprit. But I am a skeptic by nature. I didn't just want to feel a difference. I wanted to see objective proof. So I designed an experiment. 7 days with 0 added sugar, tracked by 2 key pieces of technology. The first was a continuous glucose monitor, CGM, a small sensor that measures glucose levels around the clock and sends the data to my phone. The second was a professional skin analysis before and after the week, using a scanner that visualizes underlying conditions like inflammation and texture. It's important to clarify that CGMs measure glucose in the interstitial fluid between cells, not directly in the blood, which can cause minor delays in readings. Research from the University of Bath in 2024 has also cautioned that for non-diabetic users, CGMs can sometimes give misleading results. Despite these limitations, they provide a fascinating window into the body's response to food. I wanted to see the data for myself. What would 1 week without sugar do to my body on a measurable level? The results were more dramatic than I had anticipated. Days 1-3, the withdrawal phase. The first step was a full audit of my pantry, and the reality of my eating habits was startling. The yogurt I thought was healthy was filled with sugar. The same was true for my salad dressing, bread, and pasta sauce. It quickly became apparent that this challenge wasn't about avoiding desserts. It was about scrutinizing nearly every label. Added sugar is ubiquitous. By the afternoon of the first day, the withdrawal effects were immediate and intense. A dull, throbbing headache began, and I felt a persistent, gnawing craving for anything sweet. My mood soured. This experience is often called the sugar flu, a physiological response as the body protests the absence of its usual quick energy source. My CGM data confirmed this internal struggle. My glucose graph was a series of jagged peaks and valleys as my body attempted to adapt. On day 2, the fatigue was significant, making it difficult to concentrate on work, a classic symptom of sugar withdrawal affecting cognitive function. I focused on drinking plenty of water and eating meals rich in protein and healthy fats to help stabilize my system. By day 3, the cravings were relentless, and I felt emotionally drained. This is often the most difficult phase, where many people abandon the effort. But seeing the erratic line on my CGM app was motivating. I could visualize the metabolic fight happening inside my body, and I was determined to see it through. Days 4 to 5, the turning point. On the morning of day 4, there was a distinct shift. I woke up feeling refreshed for the first time all week. The headache had vanished, and the brain fog was beginning to clear. The most remarkable change came that afternoon. At 3 p.m., I felt no desperate need for a nap or a snack. My energy was simply stable, not a surge, but a calm, steady current. This is a sign that the body is adapting to more stable fuel sources as blood sugar regulation improves. My CGM data reflected this internal shift. The chaotic, jagged lines from the initial days were smoothing out into gentle, rolling hills. My blood glucose was visibly stabilizing. This metabolic stability is what contributes to more consistent energy levels and a more balanced mood. The psychological change was just as important. The intense cravings began to fade into background noise. I found I could walk past a bakery without feeling an uncontrollable urge. My sense of taste was also changing. An apple I ate on day 5 tasted remarkably sweet and flavorful as my palate began to reset from the hyper-palatable nature of processed foods. I started to feel a sense of clarity and control that I hadn't experienced in years. It was at this point, seeing these incredible changes in my energy and on my CGM data, that I became eager to see the final results. The skin scan was still to come, and I suspected it would be the most revealing part of the experiment. If you find this type of data-driven health exploration valuable, I encourage you to subscribe. It helps support the channel, and you won't want to miss the final analysis. The reveal: what the science showed. After 7 full days, I returned for my follow-up skin scan, ready for an objective look at the changes. The skin results were stunning. The before scan showed clear markers of inflammation as red patches beneath the skin's surface. In the after scan, that redness was visibly diminished. The technician explained this was likely a direct result of lowering systemic inflammation. High sugar intake is known to trigger inflammatory processes that can manifest as redness, irritation, and acne. My skin's overall texture also appeared smoother. The most fascinating part was the collagen map. Now, a single week is not nearly enough time to rebuild collagen. That is a much longer process. However, the scan did show a subtle but definite improvement in the brightness and uniformity of the deeper skin layers. This is related to a process called glycation, where excess sugar molecules bind to proteins like collagen and elastin, forming harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, AGEs. These AGEs make collagen stiff and brittle, contributing to wrinkles and dullness. By cutting out sugar, I had effectively paused this damaging process, allowing my skin to reduce inflammation and begin to repair. Next, the blood glucose data. Comparing my day 1 CGM graph to my day 7 graph was like looking at 2 different metabolic profiles. Day 1 was a chaotic series of spikes and crashes. My blood sugar rose sharply after each meal and then plummeted, causing the familiar fatigue and brain fog. Day 7, by contrast, was a picture of stability. After eating meals of protein, healthy fats, and fiber, my glucose would gently rise and then slowly return to its baseline, without the dramatic peaks and crashes. This stable, flattened curve was the data behind my consistent energy, improved mood, and vanished cravings. It was visual proof that I had stepped off the blood sugar roller coaster. This 1-week experiment yielded several key findings. First, the sugar detox period is real, and the initial days can be challenging. Headaches, fatigue, and intense cravings are common as the body adapts, but this phase is temporary. Second, stable blood sugar is fundamental to stable energy and mood. The common 3 p.m. slump is not a personal failing. It is often a direct consequence of a blood sugar crash. Observing the stable glucose curve on day 7 was a powerful illustration of this connection. Third, the impact of sugar on skin is based in science. Reducing sugar intake directly combats the inflammation and glycation processes that accelerate skin aging. Seeing the visible reduction in redness and improvement in texture in just 7 days was a powerful motivator. Will I avoid sugar entirely from now on? That feels unrealistic for me. However, this experiment has fundamentally reshaped my relationship with it. I am now highly aware of how it affects my body, both visibly and internally. My approach moving forward will be one of informed moderation, treating sugar as a deliberate choice rather than a default habit. If you struggle with energy fluctuations or skin issues, I encourage you to begin examining labels and becoming more aware of hidden sugars in your diet. You may be surprised by what you find, and even more surprised by how much better you can feel in a very short time.